treasure chests are shuffled, but only enemy stats. Enemy stats and status effects on attack are shuffled for the enemies. So we have in the black magic shop, Fast, and in the white magic shop, Exit and Harm. So not a good start for AoE as far as the mages are concerned, and Zarby's going to head right to the weapon shop to see what he can do instead. And not a particularly appealing selection in the weapon shop either. Definitely favoring Will's party composition right now, as the fighter cannot use the nunchucks. That's a weapon only for the black belt. It's like Will is going to fast up his fighter and his black belt. And this is going to be a pretty slow fight. Yeah, note in chat that Exit is in the Harm slot in level 1, which means the red mages are not able to learn it. It'll give Will a bit of an advantage if Warp does not show up anytime soon. And both Zarby and Will finish clearing out this pack of imps. Level 2 for both of them, and they're curious to see if they decide to head back to do some more shopping or just level up. Looks like Zarby's going to take another level while Will is going to do a little bit of shopping. Iron armor for the fighter. Good pickup. That'll last him about to the mid-game. And the nunchucks are a good pickup for the black belt early, although about level 8 is when you want to unequip the black belt. And Zarby finding out the bad news that he can't learn Exit. We have the bottles cited in Caneria, but it is max price, and so neither player is going to be able to pick it up right now. So Will picking up some provisions for the trip up to Temple of Fiends, and he is off on his way. Looks like he's going to take one more level for safety, and this should go a little quicker thanks to the weapon on the black belt. Looks like Will's going to put the imps to sleep so he has a little easier time thinning them out. Not a bad idea. Now the fasted fighter has 2 chances to punch the imp. Meanwhile, Zarby is on his way up to Temple of Fiends, and he resets out of that ambush, so good counting for the RNG table for him. Was able to use that cabin before that encounter showed up. Question in chat, what do the imps have? Nothing. These are round 1 flags, so and they didn't get shuffled with any sort of touch ability, so pretty safe. And in the third chest, Zarby finds the crown. So we have an early crown quest. That's going to open up quite a bit of chests to search for the TNT. Meanwhile, it's Will's turn to head into the Temple of Fiends. And gets ambushed by a pack of wolves, but no Ruru today, he just resets. Zarby finding a pack of imps in the Temple of Fiends, and he's just gonna take this for another level. And Will finds the crown. And he's going to head on in to fight Garland. Zarby first to Garland. And it looks like he's just going to fast up his team. And go in punching. And electing to not buy a weapon is going to really harm Zarby. Even the fighter can equip the iron staff that was for sale. Will certainly have an easier time of it with the black belt having iron nunchucks. But this is still going to be a very slow fight for both parties. And Garland knocks down the first red mage. And with the length of this fight for Zarby, Will has retaken the lead, at least for now. And Garland only manages to knock down one of the red mages. Will not sure if he picked up the loot. And now, time for a little more shopping. Anticipate both players will pick up some more cabins for the trip to Provoca. And Will is first across the Bridge of Text. Meanwhile, Zarby's going to pick up some soft potions and some cabins for the trip, and he is going to head across. Not staying at the inn, though, and I think he realizes what happened. But fortunately, he doesn't have to worry about spell charges being restocked, since not a lot of AoE available anyway. And we'll get our first look at Matoya's cave. We find 5,000 gold, some iron armor, and a nice big treasure chest, 1,000 or 13,000 gold about. And it looks like Will is just gonna book it for Provoca and not get into any fights. And I think this is a good move. Without AoE, taking fights is going to be very time consuming, as you can see on Zarby's side. Runs away or resets out of encounter with another pack of wolves, so still no Rurus today. And in the White Magic shop, we have Life 2 and Soft, both good pickups. And in the Black Magic shop, we have Fire 3. Bane, also an interesting pickup, but likely not to be... Excuse me, likely not going to be used this much. Silver Axe is a fairly costly pickup for the fighter, but it's the best weapon that Will has seen so far. And Will is going to check the item shop to see what they have, and we have our first sighting of tents. About 200 cheaper than cabins, and very useful in manipulating the RNG table, so that's a nice sight to see. And Will is just going to stock up on all of these items. Meanwhile, we have a pack of wolves for Zarby, but he runs away on the first turn. So not much action for wolves in this game so far. Will's still getting his Christmas shopping done. And we'll take a look at what is in the armor shop. We have pro rings, and we have chain armor, which is going to be very good for Zarby. All three of the red mages can equip that. And after all that shopping, Will is going to do a safety save just in case the pirates happen to have something particularly nasty for their attack ability. Meanwhile, Zarby is going to have 3 red mages that can all cast fire. Or Fire 3, excuse me. And Will gets a good roll in the turn order. Very early Fire 3 cast, and this is going to be a very quick pirate fight. And swords for everyone. Meanwhile, in the White Magic shop, we have Life 2, and Zarby's going to be pretty happy that he can learn this. Not sure if he can learn Soft, though, but it looks like he's not going to even bother trying. Zarby gets a look at the pro rings, elects not to buy any chain armor, which is a little bit of a surprise for me. And he's going to go right in and fight the pirates. Probably feels like he can clear this group out fairly quickly, but if these were Death Touch pirates, that might have been a mistake. Gets the first turn Fire 3, though. In the White Magic shop, we have Cure 2 and Life. I think Cure 2 would definitely be worth a pickup here. And Will does pick it up. Level 4 White Magic, we have Cure 3 and Heal 2. A-Rub, also a nice pickup if you have not found very many ribbons throughout the course of the game. In the Black Magic shop, we have Lit 3 and Ice 2. So it looks like Will's going to pick up Heal 2, which should save some time going through the volcano. Heal spells being a lot easier than menuing through potions to heal your party after lava tile damage. Meanwhile, the bad luck for the Wolves continue as the Rooros get roasted by Fire 3. And we have Warp in the level 3 shop, so the loss of exit isn't going to sting Zarby too badly, as 3 people casting Warp can get you anywhere out of the game. Or get you out of anywhere in the game, I should say. Question in chat, anything good super early in 1-2? We had Fast and Exit at level 1, Fire 3, and Life 2 at level 2. Zarby's party, unable to learn Exit, but they were able to pick up Warp on all 3 red mages, so if Marsh Cave is required, they should be able to get out without too much of a problem. And we have Lit 3 on all of the red mages at this point. So the gold bracelets are in Elfland, the pro rings are in Provoca, but not enough money to pick those up right now. It's like Zarby is debating spending the rest of his money on silver daggers, and we'll do that. Will heading straight for Astos and is gonna turn in that early crown, start that chain of quests up. And Astos, with his pretty sturdy resistances, might be giving Will a little bit of trouble. The fighter gets rubbed out. Another Fire 3 cast comes in, and Astos is still standing. Meanwhile, Zarby has caught all the way up. And the third charge of Fire 3 does it, but with 3 red mages all casting Fire 3, Astos should go down much quicker for Zarby. And the fighter on Zarby's side also gets rubbed out, so lots of experience for the mages. Maybe not quite the equal distribution that he was looking for. We have ambushes by arachnids who have poison and not randomized enough. So Will back in town with the crystal. It's going to stay at the inn and continue on the crown quest. Zarby is likely doing the same as soon as he stops tripping over snakes. And back up to Matoya's cave. Now, what's interesting is both players found the crown early in Temple of Fiends, and both of them checked Matoya's cave early. The money in there was certainly helpful for purchasing things in Elfland, but there is a consideration to be made to checking Matoya's Cave later if you have the crown early, since you know you're going to be back there anyway. Zarby, unable to get away from a pack of imps, and the run failures keep on rolling. Finally gets away. And here we have a pack of wolves. And the first attack. So, out of all of the wolf encounters so far, we have a total of 1 damage inflicted. And we have in the Elfland Treasury a cabin and very small amounts of gold. So nothing to get too excited about. More wolves for Zarby, and it looks like Will is gambling on Northwest Castle and perhaps even Marsh Cave. So we'll see what treasures Astos had locked away, while Zarby picks up the Mystic Key. We have an Iron Gauntlet, 880 gold. Not too much good. And Will is not going to continue on to the Marsh Cave. He's going to head back and check those other chests in Canaria and the Dwarf Cave. Looks like Zarby is going to gamble on those Astos chests having something as well. Curious to see if he decides to continue on to Marsh Cave afterwards. Wow, that is an expensive house. Another good run by Zarby to get away from a pack of wolves, and they have not been impeding progress very much. Again, if you like what you're seeing, both of these runners have been doing a lot of Final Fantasy Randomizer lately, so please throw them a follow. I'm sure they would greatly appreciate it. Will first to the Canaria treasury, and he finds quite a lot of gold, but not the progression items that he's looking for. Meanwhile, Zarby is going to head into the Marsh Cave, so this is going to be the first big gamble of the game. If Will finds something in Temple of Fiends or Dwarf Cave, specifically the TNT, but perhaps even another progression item, he is going to have a nice lead on Zarby. But as things stand right now, it's about 11 chests versus 13, so Zarby is more likely to find something good in Marsh Cave. Zarby running into a pack of skeletons, while Will picks up level 8. Gargoyles with Sleep Touch. And in the top of Marsh Cave, we have an opal bracelet, while Will finds the TNT. Dynamite hidden in the key lock chest in the Temple of Fiends. Well, Zarby finds not what he is looking for in the top floor of the Marsh Cave. Now, where things could get very interesting is if another progression item is on the bottom floor of Marsh Cave. But for now, Will has a pretty sizable lead. About halfway to the bottle, and he is just going to stock up on some more cabins and head out. Meanwhile, Harm 4 paying off big against this group of zombies and ghouls, and that should be good enough for another level for Zarby. It looks like he hits level 9 and 10 across his party. Poor fighter is one level behind as a result of getting rubbed out by Astos. And we have the Poisonous Party mix for Zarby. This formation with all 4 of the nasty poisonous residents here. Opal Shield, the big takeaway from the Dwarf Cave. And now that that dwarf is gone, it's time to rob their treasury and see what they have. And Will finds the slab. So we have crown slab in the first areas of the game. So as soon as they find floater, it's go mode for both players. This could be a very, very quick seed. Yeah, Will found the slab. Tristal noting that this is pseudo go mode in chat, and while they may be in go mode as far as progression items go, they are certainly not in go mode as far as their equipment goes. So Zarby taking the time to check these extra chests is likely not going to hurt him in the long run if he finds something good down here. And Zarby getting a little turned around in Marsh Cave. In the White Magic shop, we have Cure 4, Invis 2, and Wall. All good pickups. And Zarby steps on the Wizard Trap tile in the locked room. Elects to burn Fire 3 charges. Would have liked to see Lightning 3 here more since Wizards do not resist it. Will checking his stats to see if the Silver Axe is better than the Giant Sword. But finds a Silver Sword anyway, so renders that moot. Will doing a little bit of armor shopping while Zarby is dipping into his healing potions. And gets another heal potion for that fight. And Will's going to pick up some copper bracelets for his mages. A little better than nothing. But that's only a 4 defense boost. Definitely would have liked to have found silvers there instead. And while he's here, Will's going to drop that slab off. Meanwhile, Zarby reaches levels 10 and 11 on his party. And we have a pack of werewolves coming in, and they don't look so good. They look pretty sick. Maybe somebody should take them to the vet. And we have Harm Forecast clearing out all of the undead monsters, but that Crawl is just going to shrug it off. And Will gets his first look at giants. And has no nuke charges. So we'll see how much HP they have and how hard they hit. Looks like Will is going to switch over to the Bane strats, and that was a good move. Takes out both of the giants in one turn. Meanwhile, Zarby's got his hand full with more wizards. Finds a silver shield. And an empty treasure box. Looks like Will's going to go for the Bane strats again, and they don't work this time. Meanwhile, Zarby finds the ruby. So if this is a ruby required seed, things got really interesting. Oh, now we have a race, friends. So the ruby will pay off if the floater is in Titan's Cave or under the plate in Earth Cave, as there are 8 chests that are rod locked. So looks like we will continue to have route divergence here. It's an interesting decision for Zarby now, as Earth Cave before Volcano becomes not a bad play with 28 chests available if you add on Titan's Cave. Meanwhile, Zarby's getting poked in the eyes by Grey Imps. Does not get ambushed by the arachnids, though. And it looks like Will is looking for some EXP fights, but they found him first. And they have Death Touch! So, everyone's favorite punching bags for experience decided they're not going to take it anymore. Death Touch Peds. Wow. That's unpleasant. So it looks like Will is just going to stick to the much safer giant fights. But that's going to be a little slower going into the volcano. Meanwhile, Zarby picks up enough money on his trip back to get gold bracelets for everybody. That's going to pay off in menuing savings over the course of the game. Looks like with the first strike, Will's going to take a shot at this fight. And if he can thin out at least two of these, one not so bad, but that's of course, the one that dies is the one that the fighter is going to target. So he's going to try again. Death Touch not triggering this time. Bane missing again. It looks like Will's just going to go for the sure damage here and throw a Fire 3 out there. 4 hits from Peds, none of them triggering the Death Touch, so he will be happy to walk away with that giant pile of experience. So now we have Zarby checking the Condaria Treasury. And Will is going to save his hard-earned experience. Looks like the nuke on the Peds wasn't quite enough to take them out, but manages to avoid getting hit with the Death Touch again. Probably fortunate that Death Touch landed on an enemy that does not have multiple hits. Something like Death Touch Gargoyles are far more frightening than Death Touch Peds or Death Touch Ghosts. Although Death Touch Ghosts being unrunnable are frightening in their own right. And we have TNT. So Zarby has picked up the dynamite and is heading to Dwarf Cave right now. Meanwhile, Will has sailed all the way to the volcano and we'll get our first look at... No, we won't, because we ran into a pack of bulls with scorpions. Now we'll get our first look at the inside of the volcano. And it looks like Will is going right side first. And gets a soft potion for his troubles. Zarby heading to the dwarf cave, and we'll drop off that TNT shortly. And Will runs into a pack of gargoyles, and since these are first round gargoyles, they cast fire too, so he's not going to take any chances with them, and knocks them all down with one nuke. Meanwhile, we have the Pede ambush, and this time Death Touch triggers. And Will doesn't want to have any part of this. Nothing too exciting in the dwarf cave chests. But now, slab and TNT for Zarby. Looks like Will's strategy of saving that last nuke charge for this fight is going to pay off with the low rolls, damage rolls that he's been getting. And Cure 4 available for all of the red mages, so we have healing for days, but no Invis 2, unfortunately. No wall either. And a pro cape at the end of the tunnel. And no nuke for the red mages, so that's gonna hurt. Do have a silver sword available for the fighter. And a slab translated for Zarby. Now we're going to get our first look at the left side chests and in the big treasure room. We have to get through this pack of gargoyles first, and there is the aforementioned fire 2. One more, and that's probably a reset. And there we go, try again. But doesn't lose that much progress since he hadn't started opening chests yet. We have the dreaded one Pede. It looks like we have a route divergence. Zarby heading towards the Titan's tunnel. And this is basically the game on the line here. If Zarby finds something good, if Zarby finds the floater, it's going to take Will a long time to come back to this route. Zeus Gauntlet for Will. Harm making short work of this giant pack of shadows. And Will remembers to unequip the nunchucks. Big pack of gray wolves, but they don't have anything harmful. And the Titan is fed this seed. So we'll get our first look at those 4 chests down in Titan's tunnel. We have the power bracelet and the floater. Oh no. This is a disaster for Will. This was a ruby required seed. And Zarby's early Marsh Cave gamble pays off big. So, having cleared out the top of the volcano, Will is now going to descend further in. Have a lone Wiz-Ogre. And, of course, this is the Wiz-Ogre Cerebus fight with no Cerebuses, so you can't run from it. Question in chat, what is the ribbon status? There have been no ribbons found so far. If Will decides to explore dungeons strictly by treasure counts, he is very likely to look at Ice Cave and Earth Cave before Marsh Cave. My guess is he'll probably check Ice Cave and then check Marsh Cave. And Will accidentally cast Exit. So, we'll try this again. And this is Zarby's first opportunity to see the EXPs in action. No death touch yet. And there we go. Down goes the fighter. Now Zarby knows. Does anyone know Life 2? Why, yes. All of us do. So at this point, Zarby can go pretty much anywhere, but he has to be feeling a little uncomfortable as far as his total equipment goes. He also feels very uncomfortable fighting this. Runs away from the giant pack of peeds. So once Zarby picks up this canoe, he can go pretty much anywhere in the world. And Will is getting stun-locked by Cerebuses. Stun-locked and run-locked. And decides to just punch his way out at this point. losing valuable time as he keeps getting scorched down. And we have a canoe for Zarby. And with that canoe, Zarby's going to head down to the desert and pick up his airship. Where will Zarby head first? Will finds the tail. Looks like Zarby's going to head right into the volcano as well. And he is going to start cracking open chests as well. Zarby heading right for the big treasure room. Wants access to that equipment as soon as possible. Light Axe and Zeus Gauntlet, good pickups. Meanwhile, Will is now evaluating the health of his party to see how well he can pull the grind off. 60-some heal potions. Agama, of course, going right for the guy in the back row. Looks like he's going to pick up the Black Mage just for a little added damage support. Or maybe just as a meat shield. We'll see. Meanwhile, no access to nuke means he's going to have to go through these fire elementals the long way. So Zarby elects to burn 3 Lit 3 charges. And of course, the one that the fighter is going to target is not the one that dies. And the Peds say hello. And Zarby says goodbye. And now Zarby is going to head right down into the volcano. Gets scorched by the Cerebus. And we have Will taking out another Agama. Brings his Black Mage up to level 16. Zarby getting a nice uneventful run down to the next floor with treasures. And it looks like he's going to dip into his heal potions. And probably good that that was uneventful, because an ambush scorch from the Agama would have killed 2 of his party members for sure. Playing it a little dangerous on the lava tiles, but does not get punished for it. And this is where having access to heal spells really saves you time. All of this menuing that Zarby is doing right now could be completely replaced with 2 casts of heal 3. Meanwhile, we see the Wiz Ogres attempting to put one over on the opposing party. But it looks like Zarby's not going to fall for their ruse. Looks like Will is at the point with his party that, oh goodness, the Red Giants have Poison Touch and they hit hard. Only 5 pure potions left, so he's got to be a little careful with how he distributes those around. And it looks like Will is at the point where damage from the fighter and the black belt is good enough to kill an Agama. So now he's just looking to have the mages taken out. Zarby picks up the tail, and he'll be happy to see that, having 3 red mages and a fighter. The sort of the 2 classes that benefit the most from the class change, in my opinion. I would say fighter, red mage, and ninja definitely like the promotions a lot more than any of the others. But before Zarby can proceed, he's got to deal with a lot of bull. Agama throwing out the heat. And another easy level. And down goes the Black Mage for Will. Meanwhile, Zarby is stepping on the Agama tiles as well, and we'll see how much he decides to level up his party, and what the distribution of experience is going to look like. So the nice thing about the Agama grind, as opposed to any other monster, is that they have the nice combination of being both easy to defeat and having 2 forced encounter tiles right next to one another. So they're a very safe monster in round 1 flags, and typically in a lot of flags they're a very safe monster. And moving between the 2 forced encounter tiles does not advance the step counter. So as you're moving between those 2 tiles, you know that the only thing that you will fight are Agamas. So even if you know that you're in a later round flag and perhaps bulls or Wizogres have something nasty, you can safely conduct this grind and then continue on without worrying about running into another type of monster. It's like Zarby is running a little low on heal potions, not having access to a heal spell during his descent through the volcano. And it looks like Will is just going to wait for the Agama to take out his fighter. And now we are well into the solo grind. Looks like Zarby decides he's had enough, and he is going to head right for carry rather than checking the red D chest. Probably doesn't want to get blazed by the red dragon. He has access to fast, but this may be a time-consuming carry fight, as opposed to when Will gets done with his leveling. Carry, actually resistant to all three elements, is going to lead off with a fire too. Rolls pretty low across the entire party. And here it looks like he's fasted up the entire party. But Carry doesn't care very much about that. Light Axe is doing some work on the part of the fighter, though. Carry shrugging off a Lightning 3. Meanwhile, Will is at level 27. And that's it for Carry. Another chop from the Light Axe is going to do it. Level 16 for the fighter. And we'll see where Zarby heads from here. Looks like he's going to go right to the Cardia Islands and check those chests out. He gets ambushed by ESPN, the Ocho. Heads straight to the leftmost treasure room first, hoping that the dragon wasn't going to get stuck in his hoard, but there he is. Look at those jukes. That dragon should play running back. We have Silver Bracelet, but with a pack of gold bracelets, Zarby is not interested. However, that extra gold bracelet is going to be better than the iron armor. Just by the fact that the fighter, while wearing the gold bracelet, is not going to see nearly as much of an evade penalty as he would wearing heavier armor. We have level 32 for Will, and we'll see if this is enough. Zarby finding a heal helmet. a heal potion, and a flame shield, and elects not to pick any of it up. And now we have promotions. Zarby's party will soon consist of a knight and 3 red wizards. Now from here, it looks like he is heading straight north. We'll see if he goes... It looks like he's going to go pick up some other spells. Trips over a snake. Meanwhile, the power level is rolling right along for Will. He is at level 35 right now. And we have Nuke picked up for all of the red wizards, giving them a very, very large boost in their offensive capability. It looks like Will has decided this is enough for me to go downstairs and keep checking some more chests. Oh, that solo Wiz Ogre doesn't know what hit him. First strike on the Agama. That should be good enough for another level. 37 for Will. And he still has enough heal potions to go to full health. $37 seems like that'll be good enough for Will. He should be able to get to 42 by the end of the game, especially with Unrunnables and Temple of Fiends Revisited. And we have the first orb lit for Will, but no floater. And the question then becomes, how long is it going to take Will to go into Marsh Cave? My guess is that Will heads to Ice Cave next. Although, having found the crown, Marsh is a little bit better, but not enough, I would say, to pick over Ice Cave. The nice thing about checking Marsh Cave with a power-leveled black belt is that the ambush rate is reduced, but the enemies in the Marsh Cave almost always run away from you. So you could get ambushed by shadows who then all run. And that's almost quicker than trying to run away from a normal battle. So Marsh Cave actually becomes kind of pleasant to run through once you've power leveled. Meanwhile, Will is going to restock on all of those heal potions that he burned through in the volcano. It looks like Zarby is just going to burn through these dungeons. We'll see if he decides to pick up any of the sort of greedy chests along the way. Finds a pro ring in the vampire stash. That's a pretty good item to get. Certainly not a ribbon or the adamant, but I'm sure he'll take it. And now Zarby runs away from a pack of Shrek cosplayers. Will doing a little bit of inventory Tetris before moving on. And he is definitely going to check out the ice cave. And we have an ice sword. It looks like that's going to go right on the fighter. And the Vorpal is going to go on the red wizard in the back. Steps on the trap tile in front of one of the chests and has some bad run luck. And Will has made it to the ice cave. Zarby picking up another pro cape, which is very important as all three of his characters have capes, or all three of his wizards have capes. So, got to complete the look. You need all those pro capes. So far, nothing too bad for Will in the ice cave. And there's the first sorcerer trance. Does not hit anyone. Zarby on the lich floor making some progress while Will is about to do the warp trick. And teleports right onto the tile he just went down. Finds the adamant, and Zarby might have liked to find that, having the fighter in the lead slot of his party. Certainly would make him feel more comfortable, but there's always the Mazmune. And Will hits an unrunnable encounter. It looks like he's just going to let his fighter take out that Frostwolf. Meanwhile, Zarby back in Melman, and he is going to pick up Wall, as he feels like perhaps he doesn't have enough ribbons to get through this Temple of Fiends. We have Blizzard taking down the mages on Will's side. And that will probably cause him to reset if he does not find anything good here. And I do not like the idea of going solo black belt in the ice cave. Run failures are very, very costly with the large ghost groups. And the unrunnables are also going to eat a fair amount of time. And it looks like he is going to burn through some heal potions as well. It likes to just punch that sorcerer, getting out some frustration from vanilla sorcerers. And we have a lot of garbage for Will. Zarby, meanwhile, running into the unrunnable encounters outside of Leffen. Trolls certainly living up to their name, surviving by barely 20 HP. Another level for Zarby's team. And Zarby is about to pick up the chime. It's like Will was thinking about resetting out of the ice cave. Still thinking about it. Meanwhile, another unrunnable for Zarby, and this time he's not going to take any chances and just nukes his way out of it. It's like Will is going to keep all of his items from the ice cave. The adamant, if he decides to pick up Excalibur. Meanwhile, we have a T-Rex sighting. Zarby decides he's going to take this fight as it's terrific experience. And down goes the knockoff version of Tyra. T-Rex, the bootleg version of Tyra. Not sure why anyone would want to eat a blue steak, but here we are. Looks like Zarby's next destination is the Sea Shrine. Takes a nasty hit from a saber-toothed tiger and elects to reset. Meanwhile, Will is sailing back to Canaria to pick up that bottle now that he is fabulously wealthy. And we'll see where he decides to go from here. He is not very far away from Marsh Cave, so if he's going by proximity, Marsh Cave would definitely be the play. Looks like he's going to head to Elfland, and I presume he's going to pick up an assortment of gold bracelets for his party members. Has to do some inventory management, though. We get our first look at the Paralisks, even though both players have entered the volcano. Zarby finds a ribbon in the waterfall cave. Not random enough. Some more adventures in inventory management from Zarby, and we are on our way. It seems like Sea Shrine is the next destination. Looks like Zarby is checking only the chests which are most convenient, so my guess is he will dip into 3 of the chests on the way down to Kraken in that room that you have to walk by, and that's about it. And we have Will doing Marsh Cave. And a pack of unrunnables for Zarby. And out come the 3 Lit 3 charges. Actually, it looks like he was going to burn some Fire 3 charges, and this probably isn't going to kill anything. The Lit 3, however, is definitely going to get the job done. Nothing in the top part. Now Will moves to the bottom. Still looking for that floater. Probably will be less than pleased with what he finds. And we have some ghosts. And they're still hitting pretty hard. 92 damage on someone wearing a gold bracelet. Misses the fighter, though. Will finding the less than impressive Marsh Cave offerings and knowing how the routing usually goes for folks checking the marsh cave, it's going to be in the last possible chest that he looks in. And in the green chests, we have a pair of cabins. Looks like Zarby is not going to take the experience from that solo Naga fight. He is going to dip into these 3 chests and finds not much. So the Ice Sword, while not bad through the mid and late game, feels very, very bad when you're going into Temple of Fiends with it. And that is your primary damage dealing weapon. So I'm sure Zarby would love to see something a little better than Ice Sword, Vorpal. But a few charges of the Power Gauntlet will certainly make up for any deficiencies. And here we have Kraken, and he is very likely to face a barrage of lightning and nuke charges. And Will finds the ruby, and he's got to be feeling it now. Elects to throw 3 warp charges out instead of 1 exit. A little less time efficient, but whatever. And with enough lightning, down goes Kraken. 3rd order Blit for Zarby. And immediately runs into 2 trolls outside of town. And runs into an unrunnable encounter. Just doesn't know it yet. Oh no, Zarby's trying again. Please, you can't go anywhere. Meanwhile, Will is going to cash in the ruby, but no, looks like Will is kind of on autopilot here. See if he remembers to turn in the ruby. Now, it looks like Will is going to check the top floor of Earth Cave. We'll see if he goes any further. Zarby finally getting away from the pack of angry dogs. And Will finds a ribbon at the top of Earth Cave. I'll certainly be happy to find that. Meanwhile, we have... Hello, Tyro. Goodbye, Tyro. And Zarby is level 19, heading into the Mirage Tower. It looks like Will's going back in. This is going to cost him if he doesn't remember to turn in the ruby. And he just remembered. And this is going to save him a lot of time. Oh, meanwhile, Blue D with Thunder nearly bowling over his entire pack of red mages. And he's going to go for it again. And another Thunder could be pretty dangerous, but his party members go first. Level 20 for Zarby's crew. And Will finds the floater. And he's also going to free up a little bit of room for that power bracelet. A little bit of inventory management, and we are on our way. Zarby running into a forced encounter with the Eye. Can't run from him here either, but that's going to be very good for his experience-starved party. Looks like he's going to play the lute for a little bit, and why not? Sounds pretty wonderful in the hands of a trained bard. And away go the Gerwolves. It looks like Will is not even going to go pick up the rod. He's just going to book it towards the desert. Zarby going to dip into the 4 chests that are very convenient to find here and gets a whole lot of nothing. And now he'll head up. And we'll see what sort of direction he takes through the wraparound room. Actually, no, we won't, because 3 of his party members are going to get stunned. No, we have a stun lock. Not going anywhere for a while. However, we have one music critic in Zarby's party, and he decides to let everybody know exactly how he feels about trance music. Meanwhile, with 1 ribbon and a power level black belt, Will probably feels like he's ready to go. And he's just gonna... yeah, he's gonna go pick up that chime right now. And now we have the Bridge of Destiny. Who wants to see Warmech, everybody? So far, just a little bit of air. and some fire hydrants. Will, using his tents and cabins to great effect, avoiding all of these unrunnable and potentially time-consuming encounters. The Frost Wolves are runnable, but they also like casting Frost, conveniently enough, and that can lead to a very time-consuming fight if they all go first. And it looks like he is just not going to take any encounters getting back to his airship. Says hello to a Tyro and goodbye to a Tyro. And the Tyro runs away. We're good. Zarby, however, is at Tiamat now. And he's going to fast up his party, but fast isn't going to do very much against on a red mage. His best hope is the power-boosted fighter and throwing some nuke charges out. The Fire 3 not doing very much damage. So Will now has is just a cube away from getting all of the key items that he needs to really really clear out all of the Fiend dungeons. Looks like he's going to take this opportunity to stock up on pro rings at Provoca. Meanwhile, Tiamat not going down easy. Another chop from the Ice Sword, not quite gonna do it. And out comes the poison. Down goes one red mage. Another 300 damage hit from the fighter, and that's gonna do it. A little bit of healing up for safety before he heads out to light the orb. And there we go. Says hello and goodbye to the Tyro. And now, with a full set of equipment, Will is going to move on. To the Sea Shrine and the Waterfall Cave. See if he goes Waterfall first and picks up his next ribbon. Running from everything at this point with power level black belt doesn't really need any experience. And it looks like he's just going to go right in the Sea Shrine. And now, since we're using round 1 flags, we'll see if Zarby decides to do the RNG manipulation before going into Temple of Fiends. So we'll see if... no, he's just going right in. And this could be pretty frightening for his team. I know he's got a lot of life charges, but a Gas Dragon fight could be very costly for him to get through. And does not like the encounters that he's seen so far, and he's just going to take another shot at it. Meanwhile, the Ghosts Falcon Punch the... yeah, they seem to have rolled exceptionally high on their damage potential. but they have not rolled very high on their HP, and that Harm 4 is going to thin out the pack. Will obviously not happy with the amount of damage that they're doing. And we have 3 Gasties. And it looks like Zarby is a little bit confused about the layout of the Temple of Fiends. Gasty is electing to attack instead of use poison, so that's a huge benefit for Zarby, but we'll see if his luck holds out on the next round. Nope, there it is. Down goes one Gasty. Down goes another. But another poison attack comes out, and there's one red mage down and another one with 2 health. Costly fight as far as resources go. But we have another Gasty fight. And at this point, if I was Zarby, I would definitely take this fight, but I would consider just warping or exiting out and to save the experience that I got. Uses a Fire 3 on the Gasties, and that is not particularly effective, but with the Fighter hit, he'll drop one of them. Gasty's being very nice this round, except for that critical hit on his Fighter. Meanwhile, Will is just burning through the Sea Shrine, already on Kraken's floor, and the poison takes out the bulk of his party. And this is looking like a restart. Zarby's still going for it, but yeah, that's a wipe. So 2 restarts in the Temple of Fiends so far, but both on very early floors, so they're not too time-consuming for Zarby. And we have another unrunnable. Say hello to the purple worms. And we have 1 orb lit for Will. And now he's got to go to the waterfall cave. And he'll be happy to find the second ribbon there if he elects to open some chests. Zarby's still taking an inefficient route through the 3rd floor of the Temple of Fiends, and he's certainly paying for it with repeated gas dragon encounters. This will be very interesting because if Will decides to do the manipulation and Zarby does not, Will can make up a significant amount of time even if Zarby is well into the Temple of Fiends. Poison just ripping through his party again. Yeah, down go all 3 of the red mages, and I think when you see this pack, you cannot save nuke charges. You just have to unleash. And it looks like that's what he's going to do, but he gets U experience for his solo alive red mage. Will, being a nice guy, deciding to check for out of bounds bat. Will walking away from the ribbon and then saying, hey, wait a minute, I should probably pick this up. And now Zarby is going to fight the Phantom. The Phantom giving his team the evil eye, but hits the one guy that has a ribbon on, so there was no death in that situation. Stop, however, is going to be pretty brutal, as only the guy in the back row has the ribbon. Zarby's still trying to save resources for the next floors, but this fight's beginning to drag on a little bit too long. We'll see if he checks the chests in this room or not. The validation chests. Nope, he's just going to go straight down. And he is going to get turned around again and runs into a pack of frost giants and has to deal with this. Fortunately, he has plenty of Fire 3 charges. He's got to be a little careful because they are in the same slot as Life 2, and if he burns through them too quickly, he might not be able to resurrect people. Will chops down that sandworm, and it's a good thing that he did because those guys know crack. Will getting ambushed by the Force Erebus encounter, and it has a very, very high chance of doing so, but at least one of them ran away rather than scorching, so he's going to save a little bit of time that way. Still feels frustrating to get that encounter, though. And another unrunnable for Team Zarby here, but on the level where he's got Harm 4, so this should be fairly easy to clear out. Will gets ambushed by the angry red dogs again, and this time he just decides he's going to show him a lesson. The fighter just not getting the job done, though. And now it's time for more Cerebuses and another ambush. So very, very bad encounter luck for Will going through the Mirage Tower. And he'll be happy to make it to the floating castle. Meanwhile, we have a pack of Gurmedusas, and they like petrifying things. So there goes quite a bit of Zarby's soft potions. Zarby decides to unpetrify the Red Mage immediately, and I think I would have left him petrified just to guarantee that at least one mage survived the Lich fight, because Lich is going to first turn nuke if he gets a turn. Actually, that's not guaranteed, but Lich has a 50-50 chance of doing first turn nuke, which, if you've ever played the Randomizer, means that he's going to first turn nuke. And, hey, what do you know? Earth Elementals have Stone Touch, and Zarby only has one more soft potion left. Will electing to leave the angry Dorito alone. Nope, decides to kill him. And we have all of the mages attacking, and this is a brutal nuke. Takes out one of the mages and puts the other two in critical damage range. And the physical damage is not coming out fast enough. Yeah. It looks like Zarby is going to heal instead of trying an all-out offense. Stop coming down now and stunning the party. And we may get deeper into Lich's spell list. Zap misses the red mage. Or excuse me, misses the fighter but hits the red mage. Lich trying to erase the fighter, but his health is just too much. And the second nuke comes down. Oh, almost kills the fighter. Wow. Rough fight for Zarby, but the ribbon-wearing red mage lives through it, but now he's starting to run out of life charges with all of the fire 3s that he's cast. And what all Will has to do is make it through Earth Cave, and he'll be into the Temple of Fiends. So a wipe further down the line for Zarby means that this game is going to be all pretty much even. So this really is Zarby's run right here. Will is starting to catch up in a hurry. Physical attacks not doing very much. Fire 3 rolling very high on the fighter. And we'll see what that, with the boosted up fighter, he seems to be doing a respectable amount of damage. Carrie takes out a red mage. And if Carrie decides to attack the red mage in the third slot, Zarby is not going to be able to bring anybody back, so he's got to be very careful. And it looks like he's going to heal up the red mage in the second slot. Down he goes. That's it. No more life charges. I'm sorry, Zarby. I gave you the commentator's curse. Oh no. Does Zarby have enough warp charges to make it out? That's something I did not see. And it looks like Zarby is just gonna press on at this point. Zarby running into a pack of waters, and this is gonna take quite a bit of time. Lit 3 not as effective as ice in this situation, and he could get ground down right here if the second lit roll isn't enough. This is the first time that we've seen waters on either of their sides. So I'm getting a lot of grief in chat for giving up the commentator's curse. It's an important lesson for folks that are running multiple mage parties that you use the magic in sort of an... If you have two mages that know the same spell, like Life or Cure 4, try to use the magic in sort of an evenly distributed way. If Zarby had used Life 2 charges evenly across his entire party, he might still have 1 or 2 charges left even after that carry fight. Oh, and it looks like Will is going to do the RNG manip. And it looks like Zarby is going to... Zarby does not have enough warp charges. And he's going to make it back to the start and realize that he can't walk out. Yeah, and now Zarby is going to take us on a little bit of a tour through the Temple of Fiends. Looks like Will remembers to throw out 1 encounter up here. These would have been gas dragons otherwise. So a couple of, actually 3 bad dives into Temple of Fiends Revisited has cost Zarby his entire lead, and now Will is comfortably in front. The wipe on... or not the near wipe, but not being able to resurrect his red mages proving to be very, very costly. Zarby is still taking the very inefficient route through this level of the Temple of Fiends, and since it's the Gas Dragon floor, this is not the floor that you want to be adding extra steps. Runs into a combos of mages and fighters, and Rub and Lit 3 is going to be very costly to deal with. And he runs straight into the Phantom, not healing up his team. And now we have Will standing tall in the face of a nuke. Plenty of healing to go around with the white mage still alive. Although, to be honest, I would hold on to heal potions and use the white mage's healing spells instead. Reasoning being, if Kraken decides to snipe the white mage, you could run out of healing during the Tiamat fight. Makes chaos a little dicey. Will getting the mandatory fire encounter. And looks like he's just going to have to fight this one out, but it'll only take 3 turns. Another pack of zombie Ds, and we should see some harm forecasts here. It looks like Will is just going to burn encounters here rather than doing the treasure chest grab. That will keep him from avoiding the waters, but he may run into a pack of sorcerers if he does not intentionally drop a encounter on the stairs leading to the air floor. Or excuse me, near the stairs. And Will is almost out of healing potions, so he better hope that his white mage survives the next couple of fights. Not bothering to heal the white mage, it looks like. Fire 3 coming out. Pretty high roll on the white mage, but she'll live to see another day. Question in chat, what happened? Zarby had a few wipes in Temple of Fiends. He went in at level 23, which isn't unheard of, but to be safer, he certainly would have liked to have better equipment. Right now, he has one character with a ribbon, which means spells like Thunder and Blaze, they're going to hurt a lot. It looks like Will is going to keep the Black Mage dead rather than pick him up as a decoy. The Black Belt goes first, does not do very much damage, and the Black Belt gets punched in the back row. And Will is going to attempt to burn that Cure 4 on the Black Belt in the back row. Zarby eats another very costly nuke and needs to get through this fight as fast as possible. But this is... Oh, no. The stop does not hit the second red mage. The zap might, though. And Lich is down. heroic effort from the one standing red mage, and it looks like he is going to start using his life 2 charges in a more evenly distributed manner. So down goes Tiamat, but Will is dangerously low on healing. The RNG manip lets him make it to the Chaos fight without any further encounters. And that is it. We'll see what Chaos decides to do. Punches the fighter, so the fighter's did his job. And now Chaos is going through the spell list, and that roll of 325 is going to make Will a little uncomfortable as he gets closer and closer to Cure 4. Slow 2 missing on the black belt, and that would have been the nail in the coffin. Cure 4 comes out. No! He's just burning through his spell list, and Will's going to start all over again. Fire 3 next, and it looks like Will is going to buff up a little bit here. Ice 2, and if Chaos keeps going through spells, you have 7 hits for 753. Nuke is just around the corner. Uses Crack, which is a skill, and Will really needs this to finish him off. Low roll, and Will is down. So Will has to reset the RNG manipulation again. Meanwhile, Zarby gets a pack of 6 waters. And it looks like he is not going to take any chances with this encounter group and is just going to go in nuking. Yeah, question in chat about the spell list. After Cure 4, Chaos would have to cast 8 more spells in order to get through. The more dangerous spell is at Chaos's 8th spell is Nuke, which would have assuredly ended the fight there. But that low 300 roll is really what did it. I think if Will would have rolled about a 500 or so, he would have easily won that fight. And now another brutal pack of waters, and Zarby is having another rough water floor, but with all of his mages this time. Phantom getting the bulk stun off on his party, but seems to be doing all right. Zarby getting another water encounter, and at this point, he's got to be feeling like he's running really low on critical resources and may have to just start saving some of them, and he elects to sort of go in fighting on this fight. Or go in swinging, excuse me. And meanwhile, with the RNG manip, we have Will already on the Earth floor. Zarby able to clear out this water encounter without taking, without burning any spell charges, but he is getting critically low on healing items. Will goes into the Lich fight without healing the White Mage. We'll see if he gets punished for that. Both mages are down for Will. This is certainly doable with the manipulation, but he's going to have to get a bit of luck on the Fiends and his damage rolls in order to make it down there. Question in chat, why wouldn't you use Manip in R1? It's either a matter of not learning it or feeling like it's sort of an unfair advantage and choosing not to use it. My philosophy is I don't like it as a technique, but at the same time, it seems like leaving time on the table is not a good idea. Meanwhile, Zarby getting the short end of the stick with this Kraken fight here, and he's going to have to burn some nuke charges if he wants to get out of it. Kraken casting Ink, so very good overall. And the resources are running very, very low for Zarby. Kraken electing to cast Lit 2 again. And Will is about halfway through his set of healing potions. The 3 remaining red mages do it. And so now he is on to fight Tiamat. And with only one character holding on to a ribbon, the Tiamat Bane is going to be the biggest concern for Zarby's party. Oh no. This is an unrunnable fight, and Zarby recognizes it, but these guys are pretty beefy, and they're going to require even more resources to get burned. Also, I don't know if Zarby has pro rings across his entire party. I believe he went shopping and picked them up, but either way, this is going to be a time-consuming fight, whether or not Toxic decides to claim any victims. Yeah, and Zarby is seeing how absolutely sky-high the Iron Gold defense is, and it looks like the second Red Mage did not have any protection against instant death. Meanwhile, Will is burning his way through and has made it to the Kraken floor, and this is where things can get a little dicey. So, RNG Manip proving to gain quite a bit of time here. And it looks like the fighter, taking a tremendous amount of damage here, is going to get the job done, though, being the meat shield. Lit 2 is going to knock him down. Kraken is going to survive this. Another low roll off of the power gauntlet. And Will and Zarby are right about tied with each other. Will having, oh no, Will didn't burn an encounter, but gets the hero run. 7 sorcerers with trance could easily stun lock a single party member. Brutal hit from the air elementals and a failed run means he's going to have to burn more heal potions even before, and he fails the run again. And now Zarby is going to take on Tiamat and hopes that he doesn't see Bane. This is about when you would want to get those wall spells queued up, but he's just going to go for it. Thunder coming down is going to deal a lot of damage to the red mages. Vorpal Sword in the hand of the back row red mage, dealing quite a bit of damage through Tiamat's high defense. Vorpal, and its high crit rate, are even better with weapon fixes on, excuse me. And Poison's going to come down and take out one of the red mages, leaving another at 14. Will pulls ahead on the Tiamat fight, but is absolutely out of healing once again. And a bunch of rock ghouls are just going to mess with him. And he can't get away from this fight again, but they keep casting slow. And Will's bad run luck is just killing him. And he's just going to fight his way out at this point. Probably the best option. It's a good thing slow didn't hit on any of those subsequent attacks, but now he goes into the chaos fight with even less HP than he had previously. Now Zarby is ahead, but Will has a very, very straightforward strategy. He is just going to probably buff once and then attack. Has no access to the defense sword. He's just double checking to see if he had it. Yeah, there is the one buff. Crack is a skill, so very good for him to see. Double buff. Chaos Cast Inferno, another skill. Ice 3, another spell. All of these very good for him. The next skill, I believe, is non-elemental though, so he's got to hope the spell train rolls on. A lot of damage coming out from Will now. And if he goes first, he should have this. And he does. GG to WillBloodworth with a SRL time of 2:18:43. On what has been one of the more cruel Temple of Fiends Revisited that I have seen watching this tournament. And we have Will in the waiting room, so we'll bring him in. GG to you, Will.
Thank you so much. Oh my, how was that? Nail biting? Was that entertaining at least?
Yeah, that was a real nail biter. One of the crueler Temple of Fiends Revisited that I've seen.
Round one seed is giving me that kind of grief. I have no idea. Oh man, imagine that without step manipulation. That would have been even worse.
And that was really the key to your victory. Zarby elected not to use step manipulation and had some brutal encounters with the gas dragons.
Oh, that'll do it. We talked earlier before the match, apparently a week ago. He said he's talking about learning the step manipulation, so I was expecting him to come into this with that strat in place, but I guess he elected not to use it because of the time, how much time it eats up.
Yeah, he ended up going into Temple of Fiends, I believe, around the 145 mark, and just had brutal luck with the encounters. He also only had one ribbon, and so a lot of the nastier attacks cut through his party pretty hard.
Yeah, I had a lot of strategic mistakes, like not putting the ribbon on the white mage would have been that could have cost me the entire race right there. Like, losing my white mage that early, both runs in in Topher, I just I thought I was doomed, and Zarby was going to pass me up and beat me.
I gotta ask you, when you found that ruby, what was going through your mind?
Other than, oh, jeez, come on. I pretty much knew at that point, okay, let's go to Titan's Tunnel, grab those chests, and then grab the rod, and we go down. It's probably rod locked, like level 4 of the Earth Cave, or it's in Ordeals, and everything hates me. So when I saw the floater, I celebrated to myself a little bit.
And we have Cure 4 for Chaos.
That bastard. I must have been hit points away from killing him. I should have bonked Glove twice or earlier in the fight. I made a lot of strategic mistakes this run. I'm lucky to get out of it alive.
And Zarby has finished the time of 2:22:26.
He initially dot forfeited, and then he undid it. He thought, well, I thought that Cure 4 was the end. I guess he got through one.
Yeah, with the power boosted, his next hit did almost 800 damage, nice. So he was able to work through it.
He was using the bonk glove too, I guess.
Yeah.
That would have been an impossible fight without it. Wow. we never Zarby and I never cease to entertain the crowd when we race. Yeah, we had a 1 minute apart last time, and we had a couple of SRLs where we finished within probably less than a minute of each other. So he's definitely my equal, or very close to it. I was honored to have such a good opponent in this first round. So GG Zarby. Sorry it didn't go your way, but certainly could have gone either way.
We're trying to get Zarby in here, but we may have to cut this a little short with our restreamer having to move on to another channel. So we'll give Zarby about a minute, and then we'll have to move on.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Shaileja, for the restream here. Getting our last second scheduled match in, so we weren't cutting it too close to that deadline.
So we may have a little bit more time. Sounds like Zar is tracking the other race, and we've got Zarby in the waiting room right now, so we'll see. Hello, Zarby. I guess no luck on the mic. Anyway, GG to you, Zarby, on a very close race.
Yet again.
Yeah, the Zarby did an early gamble, and after checking Astos' castle, went down into Earth Cave, or excuse me, Marsh Cave, and found that ruby.
Nice.
But just the Temple of Fiends simulator strikes again.
Yeah, it was a mother, that's for sure. It was really brutal. Like the blizzards, I think, like starting out with those frost dragons and the blizzards, just whooping the crap out of me both times and really draining the HP, draining my heals. And I don't know if you caught earlier in the race where I accidentally exited because I did the rookie thing and put exit in my very first spell slot like a moron. So I was afraid to go into my White Mage's spells and heal people up. So that probably cost me the first run. I think if I had more guts to go into that menu, I'd have been able to save some heal pots for the last fight with Chaos, and probably would have had just enough HP to beat him the first time through. But this is not my proudest match or race. I think I made way too many strategic mistakes, way too many fundamental mistakes. My menuing was garbage. I want to improve on this if I have any hope of going deeper in this tournament. But like I said, I'm just glad to have survived it. And Zarby being on my heels the whole way, I expected nothing less. That's just how our races have always gone. And I appreciated having him as an opponent. He kept me sharp, as sharp as I could be.
And speaking of moving on, will you move on to face Buffalax in the next round? Round 2 flags.
Nice.
And Zarby will move on to face Green Cleric, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think J-Lo's forfeited out of the tournament, right? I think he.
Yep.
Yeah, so skips right to the second round.
So
Zarby said that Temple of Fiends was really tough for him too.
Yeah. Just that was one of the roughest Temple of Fiends that I've seen, and I feel bad because I think I commentator cursed both of you guys at one point.
At least it evened it out.
Yeah. Poor Zarby. I was saying, if this one red mage gets attacked, that might be it. Sure.
Oh
enough.
no! Oh no!
But then I called the Cure 4 on your side, so.
Yeah. Well, this guy Cure 4 he's going to be, oh boy. Yeah, I really thought, I had .done typed into IRC, I had my finger on the enter button with my last hit, and when that didn't kill him, and when his last hit took me over the edge and killed me, it was all I could do not to throw my controller at the wall, because I knew how close I was to killing that bomb, so I'm just glad we got some entertainment value out of it, if nothing else.
All right. Anything else that you'd like to say before we wrap things up here?
Good luck in the Garland bracket, Zarby. I hope you make it all the way through and we miraculously meet each other again in the finals. I love playing against you, and I really respect how good of a competitor you've been the whole way through. So thanks again.
GG to both of you for a very, very close and entertaining match. Good luck on your next round matches.
Thanks so much, Edge. Have a good one.
All right. Up next is not on Randomizer Mania, but on Speed Gaming 2. We have the Heretic Ramza playing against Bratster in I believe that's round 2 match in the Garland bracket. So that'll be a very good match to see. Other than that, I just want to thank Shyleza for doing the restream on short notice. Thanks for being available to do that, and thanks to Game Boy F9 for having Randomizer Mania available for us. On behalf of everyone associated with the Final Fantasy Randomizer Tournament, I'm Edgeworth, and I'd like to say thank you a lot for watching. If you like what you saw, please follow the runners, and feel free to join our Discord. We have a very friendly community, and we'd love to teach new players.
Thanks so much,
Thanks
everybody.
for watching. Have a good one.